Hello everybody, my name is Cherisse. Welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about why women are attracted to men who ignore them and the tie to generational trauma. So I have noticed this pattern in my life that I have become very obsessed with men who basically ignore me. Check out my video where I talk about my experiences with obsession. You can find it on my channel, or I will also put a link below in the description. In this video, I talk about my experiences with obsession with different men that I've known in my life, as well as my awareness of this being linked to trauma around having very absent parents. I think that a lot of our attractions are actually based in traumas that we have been through as children that generally stem from our parents and how they treated us or raised us. One of my oldest childhood memories, one of my youngest childhood memories from when I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. I lived in Japan. My father was a missionary and a pastor there. So my dad had this little office, and I remember that I used to go in his office when he was there. He was honestly gone a lot of the time, sometimes for months at a time, preaching at different churches in Japan. And I remember going into his little office in our house, and I just wanted to be around him. I wanted to even just hold on to his legs or sit on his lap. Like, all I wanted was just to be around him. And one of my youngest childhood memories is of him basically pushing me away and telling me to leave over and over and over again until I finally just stopped. I stopped trying to go in there. I stopped trying to get his attention. And while I was meditating today, that image appeared to me. I was meditating on this new healing tool that a friend of mine has been allowing me to use called a biomat. It is an ionizing and heated mat that is filled with amethyst crystals. I laid on that for about 45 minutes today. I've been focusing a little bit today on an attraction that I have been experiencing and why I keep going back to this. It is one of the attractions that I talk about in my video about obsessions. Once again, check that out if you haven't already. As I was meditating around my sacral chakra, and I just felt like this vision of this angry spirit just coming out of my sacral chakra. It was so angry, and I was like, why are you angry? And it was like, I'm angry at you. Like, why can't you be attracted to somebody who wants you back? And I just started feeling really sad, and I was like, I don't know why this is the type of men that I am attracted to. I don't know why this is the type of people that I am attracted to. And basically, in that moment, I was shown an image from my childhood that I just talked to you guys about. One of my youngest childhood memories, and I just realized, like, even though I already was aware of this attraction stemming from trauma around my parents being absent, it showed me basically the situation where this trauma actually began in my life. I think one of the reasons that I was really asking this as well is I saw a video pop up on my YouTube feed, and it was these facts about women kind of a thing. And one of the facts about women was about how women will always choose, fall in love, or be attracted to the men who ignore them the most. And I was like, okay, anything that's a blanket statement already is not going to be 100% true, because everybody is different, and I do not believe that all women are like that. I actually think a lot of women are extremely turned off by men who do not give them attention. This is actually something that I have been making a major shift in my life around, because I have recognized a pattern of being more attracted to absent men, or men who do ignore me or do not have time for me. And it is a pattern that I have become aware of, and now that I also have recognized the childhood trauma roots around it, it is something that just having the awareness helps me be able to stop myself when I do experience attractions that seem to be rooted in this same type of energy. So I do think that I am making improvements. I am honestly affirming that, like, it is a turnoff for me if a man does not make time for me. If a man is not prioritizing me, that is a turnoff for me. And I do find that the more that I affirm this and the more that I speak this over me, the more that it actually is becoming a turnoff. When I find myself attracted to men who are just too busy to make time for me or to prioritize me in their life, I find myself actually being turned off by it much faster than I used to. So I just want to say, like, I don't necessarily know how to completely change that attraction because I am still in the process of doing it, but I feel like I have definitely seen progress in this in my own life just by recognizing the pattern and speaking something new over myself. The power of words. Also, check out my video on positive affirmations and toxic positivity. I will also link this below, where I talk about the power of positive affirmations and how much that has changed my life. Guys, the power of words, it is literally life-changing. Words are spells. They are magic. So, back to the topic. This video that I saw that said that women are always going to pick the guy who basically ignores them. Like I said, I do not think that this is true for all women, but I do think it is true for a lot of women, because I do believe, especially with older generations, this continues on to even generations now, there's been this big thing on men being the money maker in the family, and a lot of men that I have known have been workaholics. They work all the time. They carry the weight and the burdens of the home and of so many people around them even, and this becomes a workaholic habit. And I think that that is probably a hand-me-down from their own fathers, what they saw their own fathers doing, working all the time and possibly being more absent from home as well. So they're only repeating this pattern. I just want to say right now, if you are a man watching this and you find that maybe you feel a little bit called out in this video, maybe perhaps you are the one who's a workaholic, maybe you're the one who's not making time for the people in your life, for your children, for your wife, for your family, for the people that matter, because you're working all the time or you're dedicating all your time to other things. While I think that it can be good if your focus right now is on yourself, I think that that's different. If you're building things for yourself in your future, but if you have other people in your life that are important, if you have children, if you have a wife, if you have a family that needs you as well, they also need your attention. I hope that this is encouragement for you to take a look at your own patterns that you are repeating from your own childhood traumas. Take a look at that and possibly see what you can change to make time for the people in your life. Because I do believe that this is a generational trauma thing. My father was very absent from me in my childhood. I remember getting rejected by him when all I wanted was to even just be around him, and he didn't want me around. And my father, actually, his dad died when he was a very young age. I believe he was like 6 or 9 when his dad died. So his dad was literally gone. Like, he died. He exited his life completely. Who knows what happened the generations before that? But I see this pattern that has gone through my family line, and I can't help but look at it and be like, this obviously has got to be some generational pattern. And so that's why I think that women are attracted to men that ignore them. This is a generational trauma. This isn't just one line of childhood trauma. This isn't just about your daddy issues or your mommy issues. This is about how your parents treated you and how their parents treated them and how their parents before treated them. This is generational trauma, guys. This is generational trauma. So this is just something that I was shown today that I felt the need to share with you guys. Like I said, if you are a man or even a woman watching this and you find that you are repeating this pattern of your own childhood trauma, I want to encourage you and say right now that you do not have to continue living that pattern. You can break free from it. And I want to give compassion to anybody who feels stuck in this cycle and you don't know how to break out of it because maybe you feel so overburdened with everything in your life and you don't know how to break out of that. How are you going to delegate? Who are you going to delegate to? Who else can take this burden? I honestly don't know, but I hope with all my heart that you find people who can take that burden off of your back so you can make time for the people that love you and that you love. Because it is possible, and I encourage you to break that generational trauma, break that cycle, create something new. I want children, okay? I do want children, so this is something that I look for in a man, is not only a man that also wants to create a family with me, but now this is something that I'm paying attention to. Now that I recognize this pattern of being attracted to men that are absent, I want to start being attracted to men who prioritize me in their life, because if I am going to choose to be with a man who is mostly absent or does not prioritize me in his life, he is going to be the same towards my children. And at that point, I am repeating this generational trauma. I'm repeating this generational cycle in my own life to my own children. If you are somebody watching this and you are in a relationship, you do have a family, or you are interested, or you notice this cycle repeating in your own life, I want to encourage you once again and say, change is possible. Change is absolutely possible. And just because you recognize this pattern does not mean that you have to break up with somebody or end your relationship or walk away. This is something that you can consciously work on and create discipline in your life around making space for your family. But this is something that you have to work with in yourself. This is something that, first of all, you have to become aware of this pattern. You have to become aware that this is something that you're doing. You have to become aware, if you are a family person, if you do have children, you have to become aware that if you continue this cycle, that is what you are going to hand down to your children. And then their children, if they don't break that cycle. I hope that you break that cycle. I hope that you make the changes that are necessary. I hope you let go of the burdens that you are putting on your back, saying that nobody else can do what you can do. I also want to say right now, this is a very controlling thing that I've noticed in a lot of people, including myself. I have control issues too, guys, so I'm not just putting down people out there with control issues who think that they're the only person for the job. And maybe that in itself comes from this fear of being let down. All of these things things stem from somewhere, and you can work through it. Delegating responsibility can be difficult, and yes, people might make mistakes, and yes, people might let you down. But what if they don't? And what if they do and they learn from it? What if they actually end up doing the job better than you? And then you have this freedom, you have this free time, you're able to do things that you love, more of the things that you love. You're able to make time for the people that you love. So, guys, yes, change is absolutely possible. Change is absolutely possible. Like I said, this is something, when it comes to this attraction that I have towards men who are more absent, or who do ignore me more, or who don't make time for me, I am still working on creating change in this, because I do find myself still going back to one specific attraction where I just keep hoping for something, and I'm like, well, first of all, why do I keep doing this? So I personally have a lot of questions to ask myself. And guys, I also want to say that look within for your answers. It is good to receive guidance from other people and from therapy and all these things, but you honestly have all the answers that you need if you take the time to sit in silence and sit with yourself. You can actually figure out a lot of stuff, and just because a lot of times other people have answers does not mean that everybody is going to have all of the answers for you. Somebody else is not going to hold all the answers for me, and I'm not going to hold all the answers for you. So in this, I'm also encouraging you to take time for yourself to really look within and find the patterns that you are repeating, find the traumas that you've been through that still have a hold on your life, and find new ways to change that. Also, recognizing a pattern in your life is the first step. It's the first step. That is honestly the biggest step. I genuinely believe that. Once you recognize a pattern, you can't go back from that. You see it. You see it now. I genuinely believe you will automatically start to create changes in your life away from that. If that is what you want, if you are a sociopath or a psychopath and you see a pattern and you're like, yeah, I like the pain, baby, like, I like hurting other people, or whatever that is, a sadist, like, that's a little different, upon which, like, no comment. But this is for those who do want to create change and who do want to create healthy environments for you and your children and your children's children. Change is possible. I believe in you. If you are a woman watching this and you're just like, damn, I am definitely attracted to men who ignore me more, maybe take a look at your own childhood. Where did this trauma stem from? Does this stem from your own father and his absence in your life? Because this is a big pattern that goes on in the world, guys. In the world that we've lived in, especially in older generations, I believe that a balance can be created around this energy. I do not think that both the parents need to be working like all the fucking time. At that point, neither parent has time for their children, and then you're just repeating a whole other trauma. Like, that's not what I believe, and I do not think that there is anything wrong with the man being the moneymaker or the woman being the moneymaker. I do not think that there is a problem with enjoying working a lot or building something for yourself, but make time for the people that you love, especially if you have a family. Community and family and friendships is a huge part of living. It is one of the most beautiful and most important parts of being alive. And this is coming from somebody who felt alone most of their life, even living in a big family. I've struggled a lot with friendships and the feeling of community and family, and I still believe that it is one of the most important aspects of being alive. So guys, make time. Make time for the people that you love. It is never too late to change that part of yourself too. If you recognize that you are stuck in a pattern or a cycle, because I would say most likely, unless if you are in a very toxic relationship with somebody, or you hate your family and you're just like, hell no, I'd rather be working all the time, you know what, I don't really have much comment for that, but this obviously is not going to apply to you. But if you are in a cycle of having so much of a burden of being absent from the people's lives that love you because you are so busy that you can't make time for them, I bet that that is probably impacting you negatively as well. Because if you love those people and you want to spend time with them, and you just can't seem to let go, you just can't seem to stop working, or you just can't seem to prioritize them, You're probably overworking. You're probably also not prioritizing your own needs. You're probably not giving yourself a break when you need it. You're probably not delegating if that is something that you are able to do. Or maybe that's something that you want to do and you just haven't been able to. That is all I'm going to share in this video. Please do like and subscribe below if you enjoyed my video. I will leave some links below in the description for some other videos that I have talked about in this, as well as maybe some other videos that I think that you just might enjoy or that have a little bit of something to do with this. So guys, thank you once again for watching my channel, and I hope that you have an amazing and beautiful day. Make time for the people that you love today, and make time for yourself. It is never too late to break generational trauma and cycles. It is never too late to live the life of your dreams. Just because you were only shown one style of living, just because you were only shown one way to do things, does not mean that that is the only way that there is to do something. You can create new patterns for you and for your children and for your loved ones. Once again, guys, I love you and I believe in you.